Ugh. I've been busy with a lot of stuff. Making a character, running through homebrew feats, establishing more monster races. I'm mostly done with the actual books and compiling that. So that compilation's complete. My item compilation is sort of complete. Now I'm just compiling some cool feats homebrew. But let's get to this, the translation of English into Dutch. Where exactly are we? This is not where I want this to be. This needs to be at line... there we go. I appreciate that John is the one to point out that strike is a little bit of an unusual term to use when referring to, you know, dating. I think I'm gonna raise my blinds a bit. It is getting brighter. And I shouldn't sit in the dark all day. Not good for your little old eyes. Went outside for a little walk to buy some cookies. And some bread to eat. Delicious bread. Italian buns. Oh, they're so delicious. They weren't crunchy, but they were still tasty. Like, it still works in Dutch, because it means to slaan. Slaan means to hit someone. I don't think it's an uncommon joke for people to make. So it works! It translates directly. Those are always the fun ones, because they're like, ooh! Oh my... Itchy, itchy ears. Oh, why is my cursor there? Man, I don't see Bryce as the kind of person to write a memoir, if only because most of it is I'm drunk. I mean, joke aside, is Bryce a memoir type? Is he the kind of person to document and chronicle his entire life? Because the thing with a memoir is you kind of got to start with it early to get an accurate account, or otherwise most of the stuff is someone's going to be like, well, that's not right. And then everyone learns about your unconscious biases, and then you look like a fool! Memoir. Well, that's a really... you could just say memoir. You can just say memoir. You don't have to do that. You could say autobiography, I guess. I like this. I like this date a lot. Because it's very human, it's very down-to-earth, it's very just people talking and jibber-jabbering about things. It's not a plot dump. It's still, like, talking about the situation and explaining what's going on. But it's not boring lore, and it makes sense for people to be talking about this. Like, the fact that Lorem starts talking about it makes no sense, because Ipsum isn't even there. And that's the thing, is it feels like they wanted Ipsum to have more screen time, but they couldn't. And that's stupid. Because now you just filled someone's date for... Like, Lorem's dates, if you put them all together, are at least 2/3 all thrown together, him talking about random lore crap. And the rest kind of blurs away, and that's... Oh, smudging. Oh, smudging of logic. Thematic appropriateness. Oh, that's if you believe him. Wow, there are a lot of questions in this date. Compared to Lorem, where barely anything happens, here you do a lot of stuff, and it kind of works. Like, here's one thing that I do want to talk about, is Lorem talking about school. That's fun, because it's not scientific. Like, if you're gonna talk science, don't have a postman do it, is the point. If it's common knowledge, fine. But you want to have some, like, if you're talking logic, and you want it to be taken on the nose as this is the truth, have it said by someone who looks like he's supposed to be saying it. Because Lorem doesn't even look that geeky, and his lab is never shown. To all we know, he's lying out of his ass, and he doesn't actually work there. Like, that's never established, is it? Oh no, does he show up? I do remember that you visited him, but I think that is at home. I don't think you ever see Ipsum in the facility at all. Especially since you meet Lorem there, and he doesn't bring it up either. Does he? He might have. Ah, I forgot. Someone can correct me in the comments section, and then stab me in the nose with a knife, and I'll be like, well, that actually hurt. Ow. I hate this word. Look, I like the straight of thought of you're gonna play her, but at the same time, don't play with someone's feelings to advance your career, please. Don't ever do that. That's bad. Like, I know you're supposed to slime your boss, but don't date someone to get promoted. That's not a good thing. That's not a sustainable business model. I just realized that if you're permitted 4 achievements to not get, you need to get multiple bad endings, by definition. Or you need to get the evil ending. You need to get at least a few bad endings. You need to always get one just to finish it off, but... I do appreciate the game as an internal achievement machine, because Steam only does them once, and I don't think there's a way to get rid of Steam achievements once you get them. Keep doing down because so used to similar. They're close together. The characters are close together. I swear. I damn that swear. That's the full truth. I want to record something else today, other than translation all the time. I don't like how this date is dragging on and there's not much to show. Like, I want to have a nice picture that shows up in the middle and it's like, oh man, I got a nice thumbnail. But what can I take as a thumbnail? The skull? I do like that the skull's like pixelated, but it still looks very smooth. That's impressive. How much bigger is this than the average pixel is the question. That is a lot bigger than the average pixel. Yeah, that's like at least 8. But yeah, like, just look at this thing. It still looks really smooth, even up close. Like, isn't that the power of the human mind to see a skull where there's just really big chunky blocks? Why does this I don't get? Because, think about this. Like, one thing I do like is that they did just overlay some stuff to make this darker, and this isn't even a facility hallway, and there's a piano at the bottom. Is the thing that gets me is this and the hallway in which the generator is located are just random streets in a residential area. This little flower pot. And the thing that gets me the most is where is it at? It's probably here, chapter 2. Not here? Yeah. Oh, they're one door. If you look at this, like, this is a significantly more industrial area. You got some doors that look like they're ventilated. You got this. Is that a generator? That might be a generator. No, the generator's missing. So if there's any pipes, it's disconnected. There you got a horrible 3D light that just doesn't look like it fits. Even the rest of the materials don't look like they're made out of 3D. But look at this. Like, this is not that hallway, and that makes me kind of sad that they had to use props for everything. Especially since they had the budget, they could have probably gotten some better, you know. Also, this annoys the shit out of me. I want you to point out it's summer. Why the heck are there this many leaves on the ground in summer? Like, the summer festival hasn't even started when you get there. The glitch, which has the little hole at the bottom. The hole is its own little thing, which is kind of cool, I guess. Wait. Wait. The piece of cloth is actually visible? What? I didn't know that. That's something to look at, then. I didn't know the piece of cloth was actually a visible element of that picture. What the heck? I mean, it's such a minor detail, but that it's actually there, again, kind of shows that the earlier chapters got a little bit more love. The tripwire, which, that's really low to the ground. Here's the thing with tripwires. You need them to be high enough that someone is likely to step into them, but low enough they're not visible. That's a little too low. Also the explosion, in which I don't think there's anyone. It's just a giant SFX glued to the side of a building. This doesn't make sense. For two reasons. One, the glass would have blown out by this point. Also, that tree stump look kind of weird. Whatever that's... Unless it's like supposed to be a mound of dirt, then it's fine. But, wow, those trees look really, really bad. Especially the color transition here. But what gets me is, the explosion is really small, but here it's really big, and the glass is perfectly fine. Like, it looks like the explosion is just here, at the side of the building, and it's only just started to breach in. My point is... Rennie Romance. Oh, that's cute. Oh, this is all chapter 4, I forgot about that. This is all where you're starting to smooch people. And for some reason, it's where Kevin shows up. I don't know what Kevin is doing in Chapter 4. Why showing up this late? I'm talking about this a lot, but I do want to talk about it. It's just that... The cloth! I want to see the cloth now! You know what would be interesting? If you make a save at the beginning of the game, and then, when you get everything, you go back to that save, and from that save forward, you get the best ending. So it was the original timeline that got the good one. That'd be so weird, though. Because it's meta stuff. Above the game's own meta-narrative. I gotta say, Zhang is being extremely sassy in this conversation, isn't he? Here's the thing that gets me. Why is Sebastian laughing? Like, mules exist. it's not a far fetch, all things considered. It takes a long amount of time for that to happen. But I think it's why is he laughing? Why is he like, oh, it's so funny? But like, what's so funny about that? Like, I know it's disparate elements, but at the same time, why would you laugh at someone's curiosity like that? I mean, I thought you were better than this, Mr. Sebastian. Crossbreeding. I'm not to imagine he's actually saying that because he's kind of grumpy. Because he once loved someone who was like, I want to have babies. And Sebastian's like, but I can't give you babies. He's like, okay. That's the wrong one. Whoops. Oh, they're taking it that way. Is there even a word for hatchling? Nope. We literally don't have a word for it. We have kuiken, but that's chickadee. Oh, chickadee! It's surprising that a society that apparently... Like, that's a weird thing, is Izumi gave them a lot of, like, socialist systems to work with, like, fucking Tesla-esque communal power systems, but at the same time, they're basically like, fuck kids, and fuck people, because they don't have minimum wages that are good enough to live off of in a reasonable degree. It's apparent that the concept of contraception and child control are completely out of the water. Like, what happened? Is that really just the genes? Whew. This actually works extremely well. So, the funny thing about this particular, I might spice this one up a bit, because there's a book series I'd like to read, where a character has a very frequently recurring line called, "If you get what I mean." He doesn't say it sassily, it's just something he says because he kind of isn't the brightest tool in the shed, and it kind of comes, like, he has a higher self-image than he's able to deliver sometimes. But I need to fit in some... There's probably a word I can steal out of one of the books that would work perfectly fine. Give me a moment. I think I can find this book. Okay, that's too bad. I think I don't have the book with me right now. I think it's with my brother. I need to go over there and get all my books back anyway. But I could use that. Maarten Toonder. Oli Bibelmo. And he keeps saying that, and it kind of aligns well enough that if I use... Like, he invented a lot of words. Like, a lot of words he used, just like for the heck of it, became like standard words people just started using. And it'd be kind of nice to put a little reference, a little nod to that. It's a good nod. I really need to go pick up my books, though. This is important. I also just lost something. I should not do that when I'm recording. Whoops. Yeah, I'll have to pick up my books. Okay, let's move on. This also thing I really like is from Wayside. He kept calling kids little human things, and I just love that terminology! Because it's true, but it just sounds so nasty. It's like, I guess they are tiny human things, but don't call them that! My humor is weird, and I tend to giggle at things that most people are like, don't do that! And I'm like... The thing that gets me here, by the way, is you say, we're a completely different species, this might be interesting, and no one asks about how humans... Oh, that's where my nail went. No one asks about how humans do it. It's... like, if the aliens from the movie Alien, with their face huggers, and they started talking, you'd think they'd ask the question back, and they'd be like, oh, you don't need a third person? And they'd be like, why not? You know, the question's kind of not there yet. No, oh, no, oh yeah, okay, there we go. I like this one too. You have to date someone else concurrently with everything else to get there. And it's kind of weird because, like, if you... like, you literally have to date someone else completely to the third date and then do Bryce to get this. I talk about how it needs to have more entropy, but this is taking things a little bit off the weird end with just how unlikely you are to encounter it. Like, I decided to edit this a bit. If you ask me, just do whatever you want. No one's gonna find out. Which is a very fair point to take on this matter, is no one is going to find out. How would they? I think I'm actually away with my books until tomorrow. It's hot outside, and I don't feel like hot right now, and it's not critical that I find that book quite yet. Although I do want to... I have such a mind to walk out the door, walk over there, pick those books up, and come back. Oh, it's actually here. I forgot it's not that high. Oh, there's so many good words I know for this. Because there's... So, one thing that I really like as a persona is the concept of an elemental personality. Which is... It's hard to explain what it is, now that I think about it. But it's an interesting way for a character to be. Like, they don't understand the concepts that human society has invented over time. And they're just like, but the nature is like this, and like, why would you care about that stuff? And they look up to the guy who has that catchphrase like that. And they've got all these fancy words. They mean nothing. They're just kind of invented all this body soups, but they work really well. Oh. Oh, I'm going to make a mental note about that. In fact, I'm going to put that note in the actual text document so that I'll find it later. Let's write down the line. 150. 1350 is good enough. Actually, let's do this next time. Next time we'll do all this ram bam sham shabam. There we go. You can't read that. Or can you? If you've been paying attention, maybe you can. Maybe you've learnt... Like, I don't talk about the translations too much. I've mentioned disparate words mostly. But if you're keen-sighted, and you know when I mention that specific sentence structures don't work, or you've just paid attention, like, you can decode this over time. It's not Chinese, is what I'm trying to say. There's a lot of direct analogs. Like ask is vraagt, but it's a certain... I don't know what you call that. I don't. I'm gonna go and stop now. I might go pick up my book if the weather settles down a bit. It is getting the hottest points of the day, and otherwise, I like the state. Fun to translate. Good stuff. Good beans. Good beans for good boys, as they say.